Ready? All right. Hello. Kill the Bottle Podcast. Eddie's more, a.k.a. the Yum Yum Foodie. My co-host, Megan, working the microphone things under the fucking table for the people that are watching on the show. What are you doing, Megan?
I wasn't doing anything with the microphones.
Well, sorry, the mixing board.
I wasn't doing anything with the mixing board.
So you were just under the table?
Yeah, I was jerking off.
Oh.
Right under the
you
table.
did say earlier that just random things are making you horny, so I figure anything now. A black mic in your face.
I thought we were
like
on camera, and I thought I could do it, you know?
Yeah.
I always wanted to be a little bold.
Whatever works. Speaking of making you horny, we have a guest on the show. You like that segue? Speaking of making her horny, we have a guest on the show today. If he looks familiar to you, it's because you may have seen him on Last Comic Standing. Netflix is a joke. He did voice work in the film Rio. He was on one of my favorite shows, Shameless, Lady Dynamite, Gentified, and this new show that's kicking ass called This Fool. Welcome to Kill the Bottle Podcast, Señorito Francisco Ramos.
Gracias. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Should I be doing something under the table too?
Yes.
Feel like
it wouldn't be the first time.
right?
You're
I
married,
was already
so
doing it. Too.
Not with me.
Just
They
doing it to
intentionally put the
myself.
mic stand right in front of us, so if we really did want to talk, we
Of
can't.
course.
They have to keep me caged.
I just need to hear your voice.
That's all I mean. That's
That's
all
what
we
every
need.
guy says.
It is called Kill the Bottle Podcast, and lights are off. And
See you later.
it is called Kill the Bottle Podcast. So what are we sipping on today? This is actually inspired by Francisco. He and I met at an event that I hosted a few weeks ago for Santa Teresa rum, and he is from Venezuela, and we're drinking a little bit of Santa Teresa 1796 Solera triple aged rum. Rums as old as 35 years are in this bottle.
Yeah.
Young 35 like us.
Young 35. That's what that says in my IMDb. It says a young 35.
Yeah, I haven't updated mine in a really long time, so I don't even want to know what it says on my IMDb.
IMDb? Is that how the cool people say IMDb?
That's how I say it.
No one says it that way.
I know.
Don't let him convince you that.
So
Cool people.
I'm just gonna walk into like a casting office like, yeah, have you checked out my IMDb?
Have you checked out my
IMDb?
they're gonna think it's just like a Venezuelan accent thing. They're just gonna be like,
That's true,
"Oh my
right?
god,
That's
it's so charming."
cute. He's cast. You don't even have to do anything.
It's so different from when I used to.
I wish it would be like that. I wish I could just walk in and be like, yeah, you know what? That's it. You don't have to do anything. No.
Do you find people embracing as far as that in the acting world? It's been a minute since I've been in the acting world, and I remember, I probably had my last TV audition, I don't know, 2012, 2013, and at that time it was like, can you be more Mexican, sir? Can you be more Mexican, sir? Unless I was auditioning for a Cuban part, and then they're like, can you be more Mexican, sir? So have you noticed any kind of an embrace to your accent?
I think definitely more now. Like, I feel like it's more like where you don't like, I'm not getting that anymore. Or like, it's more like, just do your thing. You know what I mean? Like, use your accent, use however you want to, so like, I feel it's getting more like, accepting in the fact, it doesn't mean that you're getting the part, but
fair.
But I think it's more like, like, be more real or more genuine. I feel like that's getting more, and I think also because of social media and everything, it's like that's what people want. People want the authentic, to be authentic. So I feel like that's
no one says to me, "Be more white."
No,
I haven't heard that yet.
No,
they haven't seen your credit score, so maybe they would tell you to be more white.
If you could white that up a bit.
Up just a little bit.
Maybe you're going to the wrong
Can you help me out? Be
My
more.
credit score is not that bad, by the way. It's just that the bank says it is. Wait, hold on.
Your MDBA?
My IMDb
score?
yeah. The
My
bank will
IMDb
send
bank
you a
score.
warning. It's like your credit score increased. It still sucks. Like, but I think it's good.
So, were you born in Venezuela?
Yes, I was born there. I moved, we moved to the D.C., Maryland when I was 12.
Got it. So, wow, you spent a good amount of time in Venezuela. Like,
Yes. I was like literally raised there, and then I would go back during like the summers. My parents would send me and my sister to spend like the whole summer with my grandma, like during like high school years. So like, I definitely was, stuck with the Venezuelan culture, if you want to say, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't like. I always say like I became like I knew how to like do like the two cultures of like knew how to be like Latino but also be American. You know what I mean? Like, I guess in like I had my American friends and then I had my Latino friends. Like during the week I was Frank, and then during the weekend I was Francisco. And I would go party and like do to the clubs and play dance salsa, merengue. But then I also had my American friends and we would play lacrosse and and get fucked up.
What's so funny? Because I'm like, in Spanish, I always introduce myself to people as Eduardo because they can actually pronounce it. But then, in English, I'm just Eddie.
Exactly.
Just like as Eddie as you get.
Yeah.
I feel like now you can get away with actually saying your name is Francisco.
Exactly. But they always go like, what is it? How do you spell that? I'm like, it's like San Francisco, but without the San. That's pretty much it. Just take it out.
Yeah.
You should say it a little slower though for people that still can't catch up.
And they go.
San Francisco.
And they asked me that in San Francisco, at the Starbucks in San Francisco.
That is impressive.
Yeah, they don't even know. But
they're busy.
It's still people. It's hard for them to understand, But I think it's like it's easy. I think it's now it's like more accepting or I guess people don't care anymore about like if you say Francisco or like the accent and stuff like that. I don't know.
I have students that when I'm subbing, they're pretty particular about how I say their name, which I respect if they can speak up and tell me.
Yeah.
But like I have one girl I've seen several times. I would see it and say it Martita, but it's Martita. Like she wants me to do the T, and she corrects me if I do it wrong. So now I've got it.
Yeah.
But then there's some kids that are pretty. I'm struggling with a George.
Jorge?
But he doesn't. It's not Jorge.
He just wants whore.
Yeah.
Just call me whore.
He's in middle school.
Like, my brother's super white, and his name is Jorge.
Hey, start early.
It's like he says it like Jorge, but it's maybe I'm misunderstanding the thing. It's more there's a hard G somewhere in there.
I think she's just confused because she met some Irish guy over the weekend, and she sends me a voicemail that the guy sends her to try to decipher. Because I'm a U2 fan, I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I've seen Bono shit faced in interviews. I'm like, I can sort this out. I'll figure it out.
I don't know what he
I had
said.
no fucking clue what this guy was saying.
No idea what he said.
It was
and
impressive.
he was drunk?
No, this was him just on a WhatsApp.
So that's why you can't pronounce Jorge now. You're just in deep Irish confusion.
He sent me 4 voice messages because I think he was driving.
Yeah,
and I'll play him one for you so you can
He
laugh
better
later.
have been sober if he was driving.
I have
Megan.
no idea what he said. I have no idea what he said. I heard airport. I heard Nashville. I heard
airport in Nashville.
I heard keep on trucking.
Wait, he got keep on trucking? Is that Irish?
Yes, he said like that. Yeah, to keep on keeping on.
Keeping on trucking?
Keep on trucking.
Like send him with a camera crew. I want to see that guy like the old David Tell show, Insomniac. I want to see him.
You're dating?
No, I met him at a bar the night before.
You met him?
And I was in love.
Oh, you were in love with him?
Until we kissed.
Why?
And then I was not in love.
Why?
He didn't know how to close his mouth. It just was like, like he
not
never,
closing?
no
He was just-
sexiness.
It was like a
Wow.
bird eating.
Like just like slow.
Oh my God.
It was fucking bad. It built up so good because we were sitting there staring at each other's eyes.
Yeah.
We were talking. I didn't know what he was fucking saying.
Yeah.
But I was just like dying inside.
And then
And
he's like,
3 hours later, we finally like slow motion kiss, and it was just like, ugh. God damn it.
But you were excited. She called me very excited about this. She was.
Maybe you need to teach him how to, how to.
If he's 44, if he hasn't learned by now,
all right, I forget.
Yeah.
He's
what
done.
happens
Is
there?
that all you have to do if you're Irish? If you're Irish and like not getting laid in Ireland,
Learn how to
just
kiss?
just go to fucking the U.S.
Learn.
Like, even if you're a shitty kisser, somebody will try to like sleep with you. At least give you a shot.
That's true.
You know?
I was wondering why he was single at 44 and so good looking.
That's
how
And
it
now
is.
I knew.
I mean, I think should somebody tell him like, hey, you gotta learn how to kiss?
Yes,
bro.
somebody should.
Is he following the show yet?
He's gonna
Is he
listen
listening now?
Yeah,
I'm going to
he'll-
mumble it into a voice
Just send him
message. I think you should learn how to kiss.
Tell him you met this other Irish guy, and we'll record a message from Francisco later. He does a
yeah.
great Irish voice.
Oh,
I
good.
heard Bobby
Do
Lee
that.
commenting on it,
Let's do
and
that.
it was a wonderful Irish voice.
It was so it's a good accent.
It was on point,
Right? It was great, right?
I think it's fucking great. So
I think it works.
it was fucking great.
Did you learn that in Venezuela or where?
Yeah, I was trying. I was
Your grandma
teaching
during the summers?
No, I was teaching this girl how to kiss, and then she was like,
Yeah,
"Hey, lad," like,
she was a leprechaun.
yes, she
Where
was a
did lad
leprechaun.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
She was a leprechaun.
Yeah, she was a leprechaun. It's my imaginary girl.
So I'm a rare Latino
feel
in
better
the
about
sense
myself.
where my fucking parents were. My dad was a musician. My dad studied music in school, and my mom learned how to play piano. Even though my mom,
Wow.
was she eventually didn't get to use that in her life because of circumstances. She was forced to leave Cuba at 18 years old and never used the piano again, except to encourage my brother and I to study. My father was a musician for 40 plus years, and that's how he made his career. How do you tell immigrant parents that you want to be a comedian? Because what. I can't even imagine what that conversation is like. What do they want you to be versus...
I'll take this one, Eddie. Just kidding.
It's like
the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Great question. You take it.
Yeah. I want a video of you slow making out, Megan, with this guy. I want the security
I'm
cam
more
footage.
interested about this.
I want the like blurred up fucking video. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I want to know like how you don't know how to kiss and you're 44 years old.
I know,
like,
come on.
right? That's kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him. What's his name? O'Malley?
Liam.
Liam.
I'm just making this up. I don't know. It sounds like a Liam.
I don't know,
Liam
it's-
O'Malley.
Yeah.
It's in my phone. It's very Irish.
It's in my. She's in love with him, but she doesn't know his fucking name.
What guy? Because I can't understand him.
Megan,
Like,
you're a guy.
Walter.
At this point,
Walter.
Walter.
Is that not
That's not Irish.
That's like un viejo. That's
Yeah,
like an
that's
old.
like-
Jason? Jason.
Oh, okay. Jason's a serial killer.
And I
That's
don't
great.
want to give him off. We'll just call him O'Malley.
Jason Statham.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Jason Statham, by the way.
So how did you not get disowned?
Yeah. Well, I feel like
He's like, I am disowned.
No, I am sorry. My parents didn't talk to me. No, but I think it was just I think that to me that was like a huge sign. Like I remember when I was like thinking, because I majored in finance and international business, and when I started working, I didn't like what I was doing, and I was like, I gotta find what I like. And when I discovered that I like doing comedy, I remember when I told them I was gonna move, to LA to kind of pursue it more. And then when I told them, I'm like, they were like, how Latino parents, they don't.
That's why I'm curious.
Yeah,
I'm
I just told them, and they just went like, okay. And that's like I guess
That's the best case scenario.
Like in a white American parent to be like, go get it, boy, you're gonna get your dreams, and like very like supportive. Whatever, that was like for me. That was like because I thought they were gonna go nuts. Like, what are you talking about? Because I never did any acting or anything related to like being in the entertainment. When I was growing up, so it just came out of nowhere. But I felt like that to me, that was a huge, at least sign for me to be like, yeah, I got to do this, because the fact that they didn't go crazy, Also, I feel like I already graduated. I was already working. So I was like, what are they going to do?
Get their own degree.
Yeah. If I would have done it when I was still in college, I'm dropping out of college. That would have been a totally
I
different
did that.
You did that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's no degrees on my wall.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. Sorry, FIU. Yeah, there's no FIU degree on my wall.
Oh,
but
so you actually dropped out.
I dropped out. Yeah,
Wow.
I dropped out to take a TV show with Telemundo to host like a talk show.
Oh, okay.
But at least I had an excuse.
Okay, but at least you had a job.
I made more money. Let's just say I was making just above minimum wage. We used to call Telemundo Tercer Mundo. That was our joke for any of the honor talent.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, they don't pay that much.
At least when you were Eddie Zamora or the group of my show.
Really?
No, man.
Nothing.
We used to make fun of it on the air.
Wow.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, that's a whole other long couch I could talk to Dr. Phil about.
Well, it's not like non-union and stuff like that. So it's
It
like
was,
whatever.
Yeah. It was Miami non-union.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have probably been different here.
Yeah,
They were
of
like,
course.
sir, but you do have bottled water. One per cast member per episode.
No, I
Mhm.
remember. I
You
mean,
like that?
I did one. I felt the difference of when I did I went for a show that it was for Mundo Fox. You know Mundo Fox, or have you heard of that
So
one?
I used to work for Mundos, which was
Okay.
the secondary thing for NBC and Telemundo.
Okay, so
Something
one
in
of
that
those,
world.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So they called me one time to do it was like a 100 Mexicanos dijeron, like a Family Feud thing.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
know?
that's totally Family
I mean,
Feud.
that is Family
100
Feud.
Mexicans said.
Yeah,
That's literally what
it's
you
Family
said.
Feud,
Yeah,
but for Mexico, and but the whole there they told me hey, you want to do a comedy, one for male comics against female comics, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah. It's like I thought yeah, I can promote my stand up or whatever, and I get there, man, and it was hilarious because I get there, and then we're in the green room or whatever where people are there, and I'm meeting the other people that are gonna be in my team, and these guys, and they're all of a sudden these guys start changing, they have huge bags, and they start putting wigs and and makeup, and
You were at a Kiss concert?
I know it was worse than that. I was like, wait, what's happening? And they were changing into characters because it was the people that they called were in stand-ups, were the old school kind of Mexican comics where they do they do a characters. They do like the drunk guy or like the weird, you know. So all these guys were, and I'm going like, oh fuck, and I'm seeing this thing. So the whole show starts, and it's me, and it's all these guys when they're getting introduced. It's like, what's your name? Soy el Pepita, and they're like, oh, I'm not like doing fucking names. And then I'm last, I'm like, and what are you? I'm like, I'm Francisco. Like, nothing, just plain me, and I'm like, what the? And like, it was hilarious because like the whole thing, I'm like, I thought I came here. It was like a joke. I was like, they didn't even introduce me as a comic or anything like that. I was just like there. And then as the show kept going, I was like, I was getting overshadowed by the other guys. So now I'm starting to keep up. Now I'm doing characters, and I'm like, hey, what's like,
Oh my god.
it was horrible.
Slowly, like the volume is going up on Francisco.
Yes, it was. So, but it was like that. Like the whole thing was like very, and I don't think if I got paid, it was probably nothing. And it was like, it was my experience of like that world of like going from like, because I done stuff in the, you know, I guess the American, you know, market, and it's like, it's completely different.
They pay?
Yeah, they pay, and they,
I'll admit it now. I was making $150 a show of live television.
Wow.
Yeah.
For how long? Like how many?
I did 137 hours of live television.
Wow.
1 hour shows, 5 days a week.
And you had to come prepared and everything.
Oh, I had to come prepared. I had to go with editors and do packages. I had to do man on the street. I had to do like all, but I mean, it was a great life lesson on how to make television.
Yes.
And all of that stuff. So I get that.
Yeah.
But
150 bucks. I mean, dude, crazy.
When I quit, I sent the Emancipation Proclamation to my former producer.
Yeah.
I was like, you know that slavery is dead, right? It's like it's done. It's done.
Wow.
I'm like, this is not positive.
Yeah, no, that's the annoying part of like when you know, when you see like the things that people get away with, you know, like that's fucking like,
it's like Eddie Pax moves to LA. That's like the part in the story where it's like Indiana Jones with the airplane, like they show the silhouette of the airplane flying from like what city. That's like, when you were doing that world of finance, was there somebody you saw on TV? Was there a comedy show? Was there something that you went to see that you're like, fuck, I want to do this?
It was I mean, I always love watching, you know, comedy shows and comedy movies. You know, I was a huge Seinfeld fan, but I think the one that really like got me, like, it was, I remember what was it called? Whose Line Is It Anyways?
Such a great show.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So that show, it was all improv comedy, and I remember watching it. And that's the thing that when I first thought about, I mean, that's the first class that I took. I remember looking online. I'm like, hey, I want to do improv comedy. And they were having a class at the DC Improv. Oh, great. And that's when I first took my first class. And that's when I got there knowing nothing about it. And that's when I realized, this is, because I would say there were three things that happened. I remember when I got there, like, I was like, I could tell I was a bit better than the people around me. Like, I was better, that I could just pick it up quicker. So it was like very natural to me to be like, which never happened to me. I play a lot of sports, and I was always like, I wasn't good or bad. I was like, whatever, in the middle. This is the fact that I felt like I was like, you know, and then I wanted to do it again. And that's another thing that was weird for me, because every time I did stuff, I would get bored. You know, I would start something, skateboard bored, you know, bongos bored, you know, even video games. I would never finish video games. This is the only time that I was like, I want to keep doing this. And then when we got on stage and we did a show, I felt so comfortable being on stage, which I was like, so that's when those three things click, and I was like, okay, this is what I need to be doing, you know.
Does it ever cross your mind? Because I'm a huge Howard Stern fan, and you know, Howard will talk about like Twitter or X, and people sharing jokes or you know, creating like comedic content on there, and he's like, well, why are you wasting it on here if, you know, it's something that you can use for your show? At what point do you say to yourself, this is good a promo tool on Instagram, but I need to save some of the stuff, some of my better, or whatever, you know what I mean?
I feel it's funny because now, like, it's, I feel like, I think it doesn't, I mean, everything you know, if it's good enough, share it. Like now, like I think with social media, that's how careers are made now, or how people know who you are. Like, it's not like when I started, you know, it was about like getting up at the, you know, like a late night, you know, set, you know, the Tonight Show or Letterman or Leno, you know, that was the thing. And then that would help you get into, you know, to headline clubs. Now it's like, that doesn't matter. That doesn't do anything. What more does is going into like, you know, some of your videos, your clips going viral, whatever it is. So I still do, you know, the stuff that I am like literally working on, like new bits or stuff that I have when people come see me on the road, yeah, I don't put that out. So there's like a, they're not seeing if they're seeing something, but pretty much I'm like, if something's there or even something's new and I like it, and I like now I'm just, I kind of put, I don't think anymore like that. I used to think like that, but now I feel like, no, you have to just share everything because you don't know, you want that. I feel like you want one of those things to go viral, a couple of things to go viral, and then if people come see you, it's like, hey, I already saw you, but I packed this play. Okay, great. Now I know the next time I have fans, I gotta just write more new material, and that's it. So
now, do you try to do anything like city centric? Meaning, like you were. I was messaging you because I was in Dallas and you were going to Houston. I'm like, bro, it's fucking. Yeah. I know they're very far apart, guys. Yeah. I know a little bit of geography, but it's just fucking super hot in Texas right now.
Yeah.
Do you use any of your past time there or something to kind of really connect to the audience?
Yeah, I feel like that's a thing for every stand-up when we go on the road. Like, you want to have a little something to connect right in the beginning with the crowd, like something local, like you said. So I feel like so what happened was I was staying with a buddy of mine, who's one of my best friends, and so he's part of he's a member at this club called Westside Tennis Club in Houston. So we went there for like the day before, during the day when my show was going to happen. And it's like great tennis club. But like when we got there, there's like a tennis club that has like giraffes and flamingos and monkeys.
That's the most Houston shit ever.
So I'm like going like, what the fuck?
That's like oil money shit.
I was like, my whole thing was like, who designed this? Pablo Escobar? Like, so it's such a like a narco thing,
and it breaks and there's money in it. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, like it's
there's
so
drugs
weird.
and money inside.
I want to have tennis court, but I also want to have a giraffe. Like that doesn't.
That's very Tony Montana.
Exactly, Tony Montana. So I use that in the show at night, like when I open the show, and that kind of like, people got it, people click with it, and then, so yeah, so I feel like
you care.
Yes, it's just, I think it's just little things that you need to do, and that's why it's good to like, whenever you go on the road to hopefully get there like a day before and like just go around town, walk, whatever, anything that you can find to connect with them. So then, because it's always it's like, oh man, it's like an appreciation to the city that you're there or something like 100%. That, I feel like. So yeah, I think you always have to do that if you can, like whenever you can, yeah.
Now, every comedian has bombed tremendously. Mm-hmm. What was your worst bomb? And how do you, get yourself out of it the next day or whenever?
Yeah. I think my worst bomb was when I was just still starting. So I was like, remember doing this club and like, it was like a 5-minute set and they put me up there. And like, as soon as I went up, I said the first thing and it was like literally like crickets, like nothing. Like, and when you're starting, when you're young, you don't know what you're doing. Obviously you panic. So you start like speaking fast. And I just remember everything was saying nothing. And I'm like, and I think the club owner or whatever who was booking gave me the light like at 3 minutes. She was like,
so Megan does stand up. Yeah.
So
right? She's like, yeah.
So whenever you're so I think with the stand up is like stand up. I think the stand up community we're supportive. I think club comics were supportive. Like if you have a good set, I think everybody goes, hey, great set, man, good set. The opposite, when you bomb, nobody says, hey, you bombed, you suck, whatever. But everybody, it's like you got leprosy.
Say, oh, it was a bad crowd.
Yeah, bad crowd.
If you specifically bomb, I feel like it's more like nobody wants to talk to you. It's like you got leprosy.
Oh.
So it's like...
You should have done the characters from Cien Mexicanos.
Yeah.
That would have killed. Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, so it's like, I remember I won and then you get out and people just like, kind of like, like they don't want to look in you in that. And you're trying to get like somebody to be like, it wasn't that bad. You want that, but nobody tells you that. So like,
it was that bad.
Yeah.
I've had people say that. No, that was.
Oh, really?
That bad. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I have either the people that say like it was a rough crowd, you did fine.
Yeah.
Or some people have been like, that was not good.
Oh, wow.
You shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Anymore.
But I think that's, I
don't know who your friends are. You need better friends.
No, but this, I feel like comics would tell you, like, I think that's because I don't know, but whatever. I think the main thing is like, once, I remember when that happened, I got in my car and it's like, when you get in your car, you're like, it's kind of like, you're like, what the fuck happened? Like, you're like, it's kind of like the same thing. I go on an audition, you're like, what the fuck? You did bad in the audition, whatever. You're like sitting there trying to figure out, like, it's like you murdered somebody. You don't know how to, you're like, what the fuck, But then the next day, I remember I went up and did another set or whatever. And then And then it was fine. So I think the main thing is like, yes.
Did you remember anything specific you did different on that second set?
No, I don't
You did the
remember. I
same?
think my whole thing I just remember is like I just gotta get up as fast as I can in order to kind of like don't let it linger. Because I feel like if you let it linger, then it becomes more powerful. It grows like the bomb becomes more powerful. Then it really starts messing up. Because we all, especially when you're starting, you're gonna. Now I feel like I'm not saying I don't. I think now that I know what I'm doing, I've been doing it for so long. It's like I know when I don't have like good sets, but there still are good sets in the eyes of the audience or whatever, But I know like I didn't connect with them or I didn't start like this, So like.
Oh, you have probably enough to lean back on.
Exactly. Now I know like when something's not going well, I have some. Now I don't.
Something and see, and you can poke and feel.
Exactly.
What's going to go well.
It's completely different when you have no idea and like. It's like
you're just trying to get through your set,
and you just have one thing,
like you practiced it, and it's not hitting, and then, once you start doing it for a while,
then you know how to. It's like you use. It's the same thing with acting. I remember my first pilot season. I remember I almost booked a show, and I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. Like, but I remember I did the audition every time. I got the call back and producer, and I kept doing the same thing that I did.
Yeah, that's why they keep calling you back. They tell you do the same shit.
Do the same thing.
That's why they keep bringing you back.
So then before I tested, they told I was doing it with the main actor, and I did the thing. They're like, oh, let's go, right? But he gave me a note, and at that point I was like, I was like, what do you mean, like a note?
They do that on purpose. They want to see if you can adjust.
But then I was so green, I just kept doing the same shit. So it was literally like the same thing, like with stand up, like when you don't know. Like the note of the audience is giving you a note. Hey, this is not working. So then you gotta like, all right, I gotta fix it. But when you have no experience, you keep doing the same thing, which is then, that's a bomb or whatever it is.
Like, how much does the space affect that? Meaning, X comedy club versus B comedy club versus does that?
I mean, I do feel definitely. I think the whole thing is that you can never blame the crowd, and I feel like that's 95% of the time. There's 5% where like, hey, the crowd is just It could, for example, if you go like do a show in a comedy club that's set up for comedy and everybody's there to see comedy, and then doing a show in some bar where like the show was a surprise and they were watching the football game, and then all of a sudden they turned down the TV's off, and I'm like, hey, we're gonna have comedy. People
this
are like,
is
what the
really
fuck?
specific. Did you go through this? That got really specific.
I've been through all those.
All of a sudden, there was a man named Hank who threw a red shirt at me, and then
there was that show that I saw with the British guy where he's doing comedy and he's at the bar. The fuck? What was it?
I don't know. I've done so many of those.
But that's why I was saying. It's like sometimes those shows are not conducive for comedy, so obviously it's harder.
That's why I started playing music.
Wait, what?
She pulled the Adam Sandler. She's like, let me get a guitar and sing some shit.
We're gonna pivot.
That's why comedy. That's why music. Yeah, music. You can do it anywhere, and because you don't need the attention of the crowd. Like that's the thing with the misconception with people because people see comedy and they're like, oh, comedians, they make it look so easy. Oh, I guess I could do it right in my backyard. And they want to have a private show for their husband or their wife for their birthday, and it's like. And they're never as good as the actual club because it's like it's weird, It's like but
I want you to start getting specific more and more.
Oh, I have.
It's your wife's birthday. I don't have to
so many specifics. I mean, I've done shows like in remember the one where it's like it was like outside during the day at a basketball court. While kids were playing basketball, and you're like doing 15 minutes there, and you're like, what the, like.
Keep it clean.
Yeah.
Keep it clean. Yeah.
Keep it clean.
Keep it clean. 15 minutes. All right?
I know.
We need it. Yeah. Don't go blue.
But that's literally it. So I know, so I do know, there's parts, there's shows that are not conducive for comedy or clubs or like high ceilings, they suck. For example, if the mic is not good or the light is not good, sometimes you go to shows, can't even see the person, there's no stage, little things like that make huge differences in having a good, performance,
I went to Matt Rife at Hollywood Bowl, and that was the issue, was
what
lights.
Was it like? Really?
Lights. So whoever was running his lights, he's the youngest person to ever sell at Hollywood Bowl.
Lights on, like a spotlight on him?
Yeah.
Like you couldn't see him.
So the whole back area can't see anything. The lights are shining over us somehow, so you can't see anything.
Like in the back.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I know. So and by the way, his clientele, the people that listen to him are probably mostly
it's 95% women.
white
Yeah.
women.
Yeah.
And
It's
he
women that are
had
hoping he picks up their phone and like talks to somebody.
his openers
you know.
were
Yeah.
nothing like
At all for
white
that
women
crowd.
that we all were like, what are they joking about? Like, you guys might have gotten a lot of jokes. I was like, I don't understand this.
Yeah.
And then he gets up. And we can't see him in the back, and I was like, "This was a waste."
Yeah.
And he had like 14 openers, by the way.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
14?
I saw Dave Chappelle when he got attacked, and he had like
and he had
five.
like 5. Yeah.
And
14?
he saved the band for the last. He
That's
had
too
a band come up.
much.
Oh, it was so bad. And so he finally gets up. We've all been waiting, and the lights are just shining in
Mm-hmm.
his face. And so the back row starts saying, "Turn the lights off. Turn the lights off."
Take your shirt off.
Yeah, and instead of him understanding what's going on or even taking
Yeah.
a second, he like just started, "Hey, poor people in the back, you're ruining the show. Stop fighting back there." Just started ripping on all of us, and we were just like, all right.
That's not the
good.
Netflix
Like-
guy I saw in the special.
That's
not
the
the
cute guy
wholesome
that
guy
does
who-
nice crowd work with everybody.
Wow.
Said my mom is a MILF.
I was
That's
so
not him.
sad because I was looking forward to it, and I left.
Oh, you did?
Because I want to be called poor and yelled at in
I
the
mean,
back.
yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
His
remember,
light
like-
people should be fired. I don't know if it's his fault, obviously, but whoever is doing his lights, the
But
Hollywood
also,
Bowl.
like, yeah, that has nothing to do with the crowd. I mean, that's the production thing, you know, and also, like, yeah.
Somebody's got like somebody lost their job after that shit. Like that's one of those like
Probably, yeah.
somebody's like you gotta go.
Yeah.
no
Yeah,
apology.
you're not coming back tomorrow.
I sound like a Karen. I demand an apology.
No, I mean, yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, I'm so appreciative of people when they come see me. You know,
Yeah.
I'm always like, you know, because now I'm starting to like people are now more, you know, like selling out here and there, some shows, and people come see me, and like sometimes somebody's like, I drove 3 hours to see, and I'm like, sometimes I go like, why? Like, you know, like. I feel like, let me wait. Like, I feel bad.
Or
you know
tell
what
you
I mean?
after, because that puts a lot of
Do you want me
pressure
to
on
take you
you.
to dinner? You guys
Yeah,
wanna,
I
like,
feel
let's
like-
hang out. Let's take some pictures.
I'll buy
Let's
you
do
a
some-
drink.
Let me record your answering machine
Yeah.
message. Like, let me do something.
Yeah. So I'm always like, so I always want to do the best I can
Yeah.
because now I know if people are doing that, like it's such, you know, they're making such a sacrifice to come see me, and the least I can do is do the best show I can and be cool with them. You know?
Have you always been funny? Like, so, I mean, like when I was a kid,
He studied
I was-
finance. I mean,
I was like
that's funny
yelling
in
out
itself.
shit, and I had quick comebacks all the time, or I would look at things and think that's
Yeah,
not.
no,
that's
I
weird.
was.
You were
I
always that
was-
way as a kid.
Ever since I was like, even like I remember like when I was little, like I always had good grades, but always had like you know D or F on behavior, or like you know I was always like
Yeah.
talking too much, and and my whole thing was always joking and always finding it, you know, making fun and doing that. So that was always been like so it was always there. I just really didn't realize you could do it as a profession. Like it never occurred to me that I was like, oh, you can actually, you know, what stand up was or whatever. It wasn't even like a possibility. Like I never, especially like growing up in Venezuela, that was never a thing. I started like literally really learning about stand up was here in the US, and I was like, oh, okay. I didn't even know Seinfeld when I started watching Seinfeld. I didn't know he did stand up. I just thought it was just a funny show. You know what I mean? And then I started
And he
realizing
would also do stand up.
yeah, and then I'm like, oh, this is what it is.
He
he
You
was
know?
an actor pretending to do stand up.
Yeah. but that was always there. I mean, and I remember also like that was always and I would always another thing I think with a stand up that I started going like because I would say stand up to be a true good stand up is it's like a life choice. It's like an essence. Like it's like you see things through a different lens, especially because I'm like serious things. I remember one time I was like at a funeral, like, and I was just thought of something funny as in the funeral. You know, I'm like, oh, this would be funny. And, you know, like so when you start thinking like that, you know, I feel like that's okay. You have something like a comedy gene because. Even in the serious moments, you're always thinking about something funny or trying to make it something funny.
When you're writing, do you ever say to yourself, "Fuck, did I hear somebody else do this?" You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, like not all the time, but sometimes I go like, or it's like, or I go like, maybe this is an easy premise, or probably somebody already talked about this. You know, like, you know, not that because if I hear somebody, I don't even like that's it. Like I don't do anything. Like if I hear that, or I know that somebody's doing a bit related to what I'm doing, then
It's like a turnoff.
Yeah.
It's like when you're done with somebody, you're done with somebody.
Yeah, like I don't
that's not even
approach
funny to
it.
you anymore.
Yeah, I don't touch it. But sometimes you go like, man, I don't know, man. I have to. I ask or go online and see if like somebody has done. If I feel that it's like, has somebody touched this angle on this subject? I feel like, yeah, it might be funny, or it might be somebody already did this, you know. So
have you had that happen where your like your opener happens to have a take on something that might be similar to what your set's coming up, and you're like, fuck, I gotta pivot, or I gotta shift this joke around.
So yeah, so definitely if I hear that, I see that, then definitely I'm like, okay,
not that they're stealing your joke. It's just
no. It's just the same. Yeah, it's the same subject or same thing. So then either I don't do the bit, or I acknowledge the opener or the future, be like, oh, like he was saying, you know, and then I talk, but you know, so it's kind of like,
and then you say it verbatim, like he said.
I do the same bit.
He didn't tell you he has a photographic memory. Yeah. It was his.
I do have a
You're like, let me try.
Yeah. But yeah, and I just do his same bit. But I like when people do like, I'm one of those comics. I'm like, I want the whole show to be good. So I also don't like keep it tight. I follow the Seinfeld kind of formula of like, you know, you want the audience to be like, oh, that's it. To be like, like that. There's a difference of like 20 more minutes makes a difference. So it's like an hour and 10 to an hour and 30, or like 50 to an hour and 10, you know, whatever. So it's like, I always try to keep it, you know, as tight as possible in terms of like the whole show. But I do want the host and the feature to do really good as well, because I want the whole people to have a good experience and then to kill, because then it makes me like, I ride the wave. There's comics that, you know, like I heard comics that sometimes don't like the other person to do as good, which to me, I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
That's just insecure. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
That's insecurity, because I'm like, if you can't follow them, then why are you even headlining?
And by the way, when that has happened, it is my experience that it usually, like, I just remember when I first started, I did not want them to not do good, but I wanted to be better.
Yeah.
And so I remember sitting at the first time I really bombed, and I saw like two guys who were like headliners in front of me, and they had to get going, and they kind of bombed, and I was like, oh, I got this. And then I went up and I bombed. So there's also that. So then you learn really quickly, just like, do your thing. Don't worry about what everyone else
even
is
Mickey
thinking.
Mantle went 0 for 4. You know what I mean? Like I said, even Mickey Mantle went 0 for 4. You know?
No,
like, it just happens.
I always feel like, to me, it's like, to have a career, you know, in anything, but stand-up is like, it's about being consistently good. And that's by like, in terms of sports, it's like, yeah, like you still want to have a good average, but sometimes you can have a bad game. Like Kobe had bad games, you know, whatever. So it's like, but still the bad game still looks good. You're still won. So that, to me, that's the thing of like, well, I didn't get him, but I still did my thing, you know. So I feel like it's the consistency of knowing, like, okay, it's always. I feel like when you see somebody and like, oh, what happened? That was like, he didn't do that well, she didn't do that well. It was like, it's like a surprise, but not the whole. And I feel like the more consistent you are, you know, on performing good, the better your career is gonna be. Because there's always gonna be a show where everybody does well. There's always one show where the crowd's just fucking hot, and doesn't matter who goes up there. Anybody just kills. So but it's like, okay, now can you do it 100 more times, you know, and do the same thing, you know what I mean?
The people that fascinate me are the people that consistently go to open mics and are terrible. And
well, that's also the
keep
delusion.
going.
That's a delusion. Like that's just.
How long have you lived in Los Angeles?
I was talking about myself, of course.
Okay. All right. Well, you're
consistently go up on stage, just get booed. Even like I've seen them. Like there's regulars around who just get up and start yelling,
Maybe
and they do the same thing. They never change it, and they do the same thing all the time.
I remember when I started doing, you know, open mics, and I would see the same thing. I'd be like. And then doing shows, and these guys, and you know, that would go up and do the same thing, and I'm like the same thing. I'm like, it wasn't working. And then it just, I'm like, if it's not working, scrap it. It doesn't work. Just do something new.
Become
but the
Larry
fact
the Cable Guy.
Did it? Yeah,
It worked out.
anything. Just
No,
anything.
whatever. Like,
Whatever works. But it's like the fact that to me that was like, okay, these are, and then I was like, okay, these are people that are either just want to be heard. You know, whatever.
Maybe they get an adrenaline rush just from
just
being
getting
there.
out there, but they're like, oh, these are not, you know, people who are gonna be, or either take it seriously or have no idea what the fuck.
True, but I also envy their ignorance. Like, I wish I could just go up and not care like that.
And I think it's fine. I mean, because that's the thing I think with this industry. Sometimes that delusion does help in some way, but I feel like,
right.
but it has a ceiling. The delusion has a ceiling because it's good to have that delusion of like, yeah, I'm the best, which is good to have that confidence.
I love that line. Delusion has a ceiling. That's fucking deep. I'm getting that tattooed.
Actually, I already got
across
it
my
tattooed.
God damn it!
That's going to be your
It's
tramp
not my
stamp.
bit.
That's going to be your tramp stamp, Megan.
It's already
Delusion
tattooed in
has
my
a
back.
ceiling.
It is. There's a
It's
ceiling.
my lower back.
Actually, no, it's on my dick. Delusion has a ceiling, but you don't see the ceiling until it gets hard.
So on that note, speaking of getting hard,
You'll love the transition.
Yeah, it's a
What's
great
up
transition.
here, Eddie?
What happened? Oh, look at Megan. All of a sudden, she's like, "Well, fuck it."
What's up here?
So yeah, so I brought some empanadas and taqueños from Chamo Venezuelan here in Pasadena.
A great
which
restaurant.
Megan is eating over here like a chipmunk.
Yeah, it's good, right?
Yeah, he had a half
Wait,
a
is that my
taqueño.
camera?
Huh?
Is that my camera?
Is it? Yeah. Megan's enjoying
He
some
makes me wait
Venezuelan
until you
cuisine.
get here.
To
Of
eat?
course, I make you wait.
Yeah.
Wow.
When we and he has guest food for guests. I shouldn't say that because we don't always have food, but when we do,
What are you talking about? Strike that from the record.
Cut that. Well, you can just cut it.
Yeah.
he makes me wait. I sit there and stare at him.
Really? No, eat it.
We do have food for. I don't have food for Zoom guests, but I have food for guests in person.
You're right.
No, you were talking earlier, and it really stuck with me about like the appreciation of the guests when you said these people drive 3 hours to come see you. What part of I relate so much to Venezuelan people from my Cuban heritage,
And I feel like because we're very similar,
we're extremely
very
similar. Yes, and that's why I connect so much with Venezuelan people, and I wonder how much of your upbringing does that come into play as far as that level of appreciation and wanting to strive and do better?
Yeah.
Does the immigrant mentality kick in at all?
I do. I think I don't know if it's an immigrant mentality, but I feel like this, like you said, with my family, I think it's a very like my parents, especially my dad. He was very like to make people happy and welcome. Every time people would come to visit our house, my dad was like such a great host. And like, so for me, that kind of translates to when people are coming to see my show, it's kind of like they're coming to see my house. So I want to make them as comfortable as they can in terms. So I think I do get that from there, from like making, and also being appreciative of people and their time and, and all that stuff, because at the end of the day, it's like we're all the same. And like, I always try to like keep it very like, like, hey, I'm doing a show, but like, we're the same. So I appreciate you coming to the show, and especially after the show, I definitely always, and I always, I hope we get to the point where I can't do it because it's too many people, but I always stay at the end after every show, and
that might be why you're more successful than me, because I tell everybody I am
to
better
fuck.
than
Oh god, well, that's
including present company in the room.
is this how you start your sets?
Yeah,
Okay.
Small people do not talk to me.
She's like, here's my experience score. Get the fuck
So
out of here,
going back
people.
to the delusion thing. Okay.
And the ceiling.
Yeah, and the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't you tell a woman with glass ceilings. Oh, wait, hold on, where are we at?
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay. No, of
Now I've
course.
learned I need to be nice to people.
Yes, be nice to people. No, I just feel like I think I do, and I feel like that's a thing that I don't know if some comics do it or not, but like to me, I'm like I always say, like, if people want to take pictures or say hi, like, to me that's also part of the show. That's as important as doing a good show. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people would just want to say hi, you just want to like put the they meet you on Instagram or whatever, or send you a message, and they want to, like just a little handshake or just a picture that's like, oh, okay, that was cool. And I feel like, to me, I always, like I said, I always do it, and hopefully I can keep doing it, and hopefully it gets to the point where I can do it because too many people, but I feel like that's part of and it makes me feel good too. I feel like
It does feel good.
Just to see people, I'm like, like their enthusiasm, their like, it's just like, oh, great.
You
like
make an
this.
impact.
Yeah, and that's
You can make somebody happy.
exactly. Yeah, that's
we know how much memory costs on an iPhone. So the fact that they like you enough to take up some of the fucking memory on that iPhone with a video of you is impressive.
Because like people take pictures all the time of me. I'm like, I never see them, so I don't know what people do with those fucking pictures.
It's always like viejitas,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh shit, and it's a picture of them." You know, they think they're taking a picture of you, and it's just like a weird selfie.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is.
You know what? I got my first brush with fame, but it wasn't for anything I was doing.
Okay, well, what
the other
happened?
day.
Brad
If you
Pitt
wanna
farted
do
on
this,
her.
If you ever want to join,
Okay.
Waymo is the car that the driverless cars.
Oh, is that happening now? Like,
Oh, yeah.
And I got on a wait list and I finally went off, so I'm able to try it, and it extended over to Hollywood where I live.
okay. So you took it.
Get a Waymo with the driverless car, sit in the back of it, and roll down the windows,
Mm-hmm.
and just go down Hollywood Boulevard on Saturday night. Buses, everybody's taking your picture.
Ah.
I was like, oh my god.
Which is funny. They're all over. I was in San
Really?
Francisco a couple
But
weeks ago. They're all over
Are
us.
they functional now? They're not like
Oh yeah,
hidden?
yeah.
Like,
They're Jaguar. They're like
Jaguar,
electronic
yeah.
Jaguar cars.
but like, what happened if there's a, you know, so, like, are they like if
they drive like an 85-year-old
Yeah.
person
oh, okay.
Who's aware?
who is very aware.
Ultra aware.
Like extra aware. That's how those cars drive. Like if I don't know, if there's a garbage truck that
Yeah.
pulls out a dumpster,
Yeah.
the thing's just gonna sit there. It's not gonna go around the dumpster. It's gonna wait for that dumpster to get picked up. And,
God, I got it.
yeah.
So
So
they're-
Were you the one telling me about the cop chase with it? Someone told me.
oh no, it wasn't me.
There was the Waymo, when a cop comes up over their siren.
Yeah.
Waymos automatically slowly pull off to the side.
Yeah.
'Cause that's the law.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this cop pulled one over, and
The Waymo?
they
Yeah,
get out
who's-
of the car and they turn the lights off, and then the Waymo would start driving off. And so it became like a chase because they didn't realize that once the lights are off, the
Yeah.
Waymo didn't detect
Ah.
it. So it was like the slowest.
So wait,
speed
the
chase.
cop pulls over and like so, and they're like, "Sir, you've been oh shit."
Yeah, and
like,
it just keeps driving slowly.
Somebody-
slowly off.
who? Yeah, but wait, who goes in under arrest or who gives the fine?
Right, I don't know
Right?
what they were pulling
Like, do
him
you
over
get it,
for,
right?
But that's really funny.
And do they talk?
Maybe someone was flashing at the outside the window indecent.
I've never ridden in one. I just
They
saw I
don't-
would
they
see
do
them
talk
go by
to
in
you.
San Francisco. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
there's that. That's
They
that
talk?
car.
They tell you like welcome. There's no cameras, but there's mics, and your
So
name
they're
is
nicer
Megan,
than every Lyft driver in Miami, basically.
And I will shut the fuck up and
Everybody
enjoy
named
your ride.
Yosmani
Wow.
that like wants to
And then,
drop you off.
Just roll down your window and just feel that moment of fame.
Really?
Every tour bus, every TMZ bus was going by me and just filming in the car.
Wow.
I was living
So
it.
you might be popular
That's
like
it.
in Turkey.
You might be on a TMZ video.
In Turkey.
yeah, in Turkey.
That's what I'm gonna do every Friday night. I think that's how I'm gonna.
Do
That's
it
how
with
you're
a
gonna do it.
bottle. Like get in the back with like a bottle and be like, woo! You know what I mean?
gonna ruin-
Or get like a fake blow, like do
I'm
like
not
a fake blow,
ruining
do something.
this for me. No, I'm gonna keep it clean, Eddie.
Make it. That's the first time I hear you say
I know.
that.
I'm
so proud of you.
Which I'd say that's a good one though, for like making out and for hooking up, right?
There's nobody watching you.
Yeah.
Only all the
have
cameras watching you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the cameras inside the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun. You should. I mean, I'm sure you get enough pictures taken of you.
No, I'm just like no. I mean, it was interesting because I've been seeing them like I thought it was like still like a prototype, but you know it was already like
No, they're
going
out,
Oh, yeah.
but you have to be on a wait list, and they were only on the west side for a while, for a really long time.
wait list to get it.
That's
Yeah,
the most LA thing ever. It's like the Californians. People on the west side means
Yeah.
in the Santa Monica area.
That's right, yeah,
on the
yeah.
other side
Sorry.
of the 405. If you're watching that SNL, it's on the 405 across the
We
ticket.
know
California.
West, so
Yeah.
the west side, it was limited. So I got off the wait list, but I'm in Hollywood, so I couldn't get them. And now it just extended to Hollywood.
Okay.
I drove through Megan's neighborhood on Saturday. I went to
Yeah.
dinner in Megan's neighborhood, and within
what's her neighborhood?
Hollywood. Yeah,
I live
she's
dead center
right
in
in the
Hollywood
thick of it.
Boulevard.
Oh,
Yeah, like
wow.
like we're all the
people are like
Like-
these streets are shitty, and they're
Like by
actually
the Capitan, you live there?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They're referring to actual shit on the streets.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like,
wow.
yeah. And I was driving through. I was like, yeah, Megan. Okay, yeah. I get it.
I want
I
an
was,
opening sequence to a show one day with the song California. I don't know if you remember that song. I
California.
want that, and just like just
That could be
walking down
their
the boulevard.
special.
Yeah.
The beginning of your special.
Someone's shitting right on the side of the boulevard, and then I come walking back, and someone's doing push-ups right where they were.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That is Hollywood, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
Little turd kiss right on the bottom of the push-up. I like
Hollywood
that.
it's funny because Hollywood is like it's so disappointing. Like the boulevard, like when you get there, you're like,
you don't
what
take
is this
anybody
shit?
who comes to visit you to Hollywood.
No, I mean it's like no,
I
like
do, but that's because I live there.
Well, yeah. No, but it's true. It's like, you know, like when you live here, like
Yeah.
people are like, I want to see
you
the Walk of
take
Fame.
it, but you're like, this is it.
Yeah, literally.
Like this is it. Like it's
Yeah.
just like this is it. You know, it's like finding it's like going behind the curtain of the Wizard of Oz and be like, oh, this is.
I have an admission here. When
Don't
people come
look.
in from out of town
Yeah.
and they want to go to Hollywood Boulevard and they want to see like the Chinese theater,
Yeah.
what I do is I try to see what day there's a premiere there and I drive them in that
Oh, and
during
then
that.
it's
And then I'm like,
closed.
oh my god, guys, I am so
You
sorry.
asshole.
It's
Wow.
fuck. I'm like, you know, there's a premiere. We'll drive by
Alright.
it. You'll see the street closed, but you know,
Yeah.
we can't get off. Like Tom Cruise has so much security. You know, like we can't do that. He's gonna fucking skydive in.
Yeah.
It's just, you know. Sorry,
But it's like sometimes you gotta like it's like because it's like that same thing like Times Square in New York is that's
So you
like
get
nobody
felt
goes
up
to
by
Times Square.
Spider-Man.
Yes, by the 3 fat Spider-Mans that are there.
Have you been felt up by Spider-Man in New York
Yeah,
City?
yeah, yeah.
How did that go for you?
Well, he
He turned into a comedian.
no, he bit me,
And now?
but nothing happened. He just bit me. It was a crazy. It was like,
Well, that's a disappointment.
His superpower is a delusional ceiling tattoo on his penis.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
really the extent.
But we can only
of it.
see it when it extends.
When it extends.
I do
Yeah.
feel bad for those people. I mean, not feel bad, but I'm like, it's like if you're doing it as a job, great. But like, there was I saw a documentary once about those those people in the Hollywood. You know, like the ones that dress up as you know, superheroes, and some like actually think, you know, like that they take it seriously. You know, like that's their like their
income.
their gig. You know,
Their
but
gig.
like. But it's like, I get if it's your income just to make money because I'm doing something else. But like, no, that's their
That's what they
thing.
do.
And I'm like, wow, like
Like if a little kid comes up to you, I get it if you take it seriously. Like, you know,
Yeah.
if you want to make a kid happy.
no,
that
this
they-
guy thought he was Superman. That's what I'm talking about. Like,
Oh my God.
But he was taking the bus. Like you can't
But
be
you know
Superman
what
and
they
take the bus.
say? Delusion has a ceiling.
Yeah, there it is.
It sure does.
I have a couple of shirts in my car.
You need to trademark that shit
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now. Write a book.
All right, that should be my book.
So, Venezuelan in the DC area, I'm assuming an Orioles fan because you were probably there before
Yeah, I
the
was gonna bring
Nationals
my
existed.
Orioles hat, but like that I didn't bring it. But yes, I am an Orioles
Yeah.
fan.
Now,
Yes.
did you find yourself as a kid? Because there was no baseball team in Miami for me growing up, so I
yeah.
found myself like I was like, "Who's Cuban?
Yeah.
Jose Canseco, Danny Tartable."
Same thing. My dad was a huge very baseball fan, but that was the thing. Every time I would root for guys that were in like
Miguel
Cleveland.
Cabrera. Like,
Marlins, Cleveland for Marvis Kell, and like you know. And
tell
like,
me you have a Melvin Mora jersey. You have
I
to.
do have a Melvin Mora.
Yes.
That's true.
So it's like that was like
Yeah.
an all-star third baseman for the
Yeah, he was
Baltimore
great.
Orioles, and he was Venezuelan. I was like,
Yeah,
yes.
and he had like 6-7 kids too. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was the Nick Cannon
Wait,
of
I get-
fucking
yeah.
the Baltimore Orioles.
When he got
That's
that
great.
contract, he started fucking. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
that's how it
good,
is.
good on him.
Why
I
not?
would
Well, he was
too.
probably fucking before. He's like, condoms, I got money. You know, but carajo.
That's such a release, right? I mean,
Literally.
release and relief
Yeah.
to be like, you know what? Hey, I got money, so if I have a kid, who cares?
Oh
He's like,
my God.
What's the Maryland State like college fund for kids? Hold on, I put $100 a month. By the time, all right, cool. Yeah, what's the prepaid college
I
fund for
know,
these kids? Yeah,
nothing.
fuck it, let's do it.
Do you want to know the whitest thing ever? The
What?
only reason I know the name Jose Canseco. Do you want to? Can you guess?
VH1,
Yeah,
something reality show.
Liar, Liar with Jim Carrey.
I'm Jose
wow.
Canseco.
That's the only
Oh,
reason
as
I
a
know
kid,
that.
wanted Jose Canseco?
Yeah, that's right.
And I also thought it was two people.
Wait, you thought,
well, he does have an identical
Jose
twin brother.
Canseco, like I didn't know.
you,
Yes,
you thought it was two?
Two people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever see his twin brother Ozzy, it's kind of trippy because
Ozzy
Ozzy's
Canseco?
identical
I
twin brother.
never knew he
who
had a-
both played for the Oakland A's.
I didn't know he had a twin brother.
Yeah, they had baseball cards that they were like together and shit. You're
Really?
like, fuck, and they were both gigantic. 'Cause,
Yeah,
you know,
'cause of
Jose
the
was like
stories,
6'6". Yeah.
Wow.
So he must be like the Orioles are really good.
Right now they're good.
Yeah, they're
now
really
they're
good.
really good. Like now we're like, you know, like pretty much first battling the Yankees. So hopefully, you know, we get to, because it's been good. It's been like 20. I mean, I got there when we moved there. It was, they were okay, but it's never been like, we never won anything. It was when Carl Ripken was there, so that was cool. So I got to see the whole.
So my teenage years, the Orioles used to play spring training in Fort Lauderdale. So I would go up and Cal Ripken, Hall of Fame, we all know who Cal Ripken is. But he used to be the Iron Man, and he had the Iron Man watch from Timex. And what he would do at the end of every spring training game was he would hold up the watch to people, he would start the timer, put it down, and he would sign autographs for an hour.
Wow.
1 hour every day.
That's what I do after my shows.
That's what you do. Yeah.
I hold
and then old ladies take pictures of themselves.
Yes, of course. I hold my watch and I'm like, come on. But then there's not that many people, so it's just 10 minutes.
It's a little awkward.
It's like 10 minutes and I'm like, all right, I'm done.
You're by yourself. You're helping them pick up. You're helping the ushers. You're like, I'm sorry.
You gotta go. No, an hour.
An hour.
I'm usually begging people to stay. I'm like, hey, no, have a drink with me. Where are you going?
That's pretty cool.
For the people who don't know anything about Venezuelans and they have a Venezuelan friend, can you please explain what a vaina is?
A la what?
A vaina.
A vaina. Vaina. Vaina is like...
Not vagina, guys.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah. What are you pointing at?
Oh, she wants more. She's so white.
Yeah.
Lupita, she's demanding. Here, brown man, pour me brown liquid.
Yeah.
Well, can you?
Hold on. She might try to date me.
But are you
Hold
going to?
That's actually very
Thank you.
Venezuelan. Like,
You're the
do that.
best.
Yeah.
No, but that... Like, vaina is like, it's a substitute for anything. It's like saying, like...
So I poured her some vaina?
No, like when she did that, I could have said, like, ¿Qué es esa vaina? Like, what are you doing? Like, vaina could be like, pásame esa vaina. Like, can you pass me that thing? Like, thin, or like, ¿cómo está la vaina? Like, what's up?
So hopefully you don't have a Venezuelan brain surgeon. You imagine you're in an operating room and the surgeon's like, can you pass me the vaina? And the fucking like assistant like,
That's funny.
Yeah, like what are you doing?
Alcohol.
But if it's Venezuelan, I'd be okay. I'd be like, all right, I get it.
Yeah. Scalpel. Got it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. That's great.
Or we use this too. We do the like that. Pásame esa vaina. Like we point with the mouth.
Oh, you do a little lip pointing.
You know,
yeah.
Pásame esa vaina. Like, what? Esta vaina, no, esta vaina.
So vaina's just thin.
So vaina is just thin. It could be, but it could be also like que vaina, like fuck. You know, like
it's a great word.
It just you can use it for anything.
Yeah, I love that word, and I almost feel like an honorary Venezuelan because I have so many friends from all. Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think living in LA, not being surrounded by the Cuban diaspora that I grew up with in Miami, you start to adapt like words from all these different cultures, whether it's Mexican, whether it's Venezuelan. Even though Miami has like a huge Venezuelan population, that population didn't exist when I was still living there. It's definitely evolved.
Yeah.
You didn't even have to point.
I did. I went like this.
Oh, you did.
I did point with my
your
mouth.
Yeah, it's called the thirst trap.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try doing that and see if people know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I don't have lips, so it's hard to point with anything.
Yeah, maybe that's why that guy couldn't kiss you.
Oh, because I don't have lips.
Maybe it's all on you.
Maybe I should go full LA.
You should go full.
I'm gonna go with the West Side and get some lip injections.
Yeah, get a way card, whatever that called. What is it?
Waymo. Oh, wait, a way card. That's so immigrant. We have to put card at the end of it. It's a green card, a way card. Like, how are we gonna get to ride this thing without getting kicked out of the country? Get a way card for the Waymo. I think that's the move. That's the signature. That's the signature move. I need to test your Venezuelanness slightly. It's not a real fucking test.
Yeah.
This is a little thing I call this or that. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna say it for 1 second because I did have a question for you.
Okay.
Because there's a few times in my life I've gotten nervous to meet famous people, and I've been very lucky to meet a lot of famous people. One of those people was Lorne Michaels.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw that you worked on a project called Mas Mejor.
Yeah.
I need to ask that before we dive into your Venezuelanness.
Yeah. No, that was like that was a project that Fred Armisen and
Venezuelan guy.
His mom is Venezuelan, and what's the other guy? I forgot. The other guy who was also in the other Latino guy that was also in the cast of SNL.
Horacio Sanz. Yeah.
So they basically started this produced with a Broadway company, Lorne Michaels. Basically, it was a thing to cultivate like Latino, talent and basically do sketches similar to SNL. So they would give you. So I got lucky to be part of that, and basically what you would do, you pitch them ideas, and they would give you money to shoot the sketch. Like it was when like sketches, when people were trying to do sketches, like long form sketches, and so it was a great experience because it really taught me how to do like a full like when I did like 3 or 4 or 5 sketches, and basically they gave me the money and I had to I would direct them, I would write them or co-write them, and then produce and hire the cast. So I did everything, hire the DP, hire the thing. So it really helped me to kind of know what the figure out how to do a little production. But it's also gave you good opportunities for everybody, because I got to meet a lot of comics, that are now good friends with, like Fabrizio Copano's a Chilean guy, very funny. And then also Jesus Trejo I already knew, but Frankie Quinones too, because that's how he got
Funny
big.
guy.
He got big of his Cholo Fit thing was because of that. That started like
that's
that.
some of the greatest shit ever, man.
And that started from Más Mejor. So that was a whole. So it was So that was a whole thing of his whole sketch. That was his idea, and it started from there. So it was a great experience to do it. Obviously it didn't work out in terms of it wasn't giving money or something, but it was a great opportunity to kind of put out your content. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, and you had a recent comedy special.
Yes.
That came out. So where can we find it?
Venezuelan American, and it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube, so anybody can watch it right now. I shot it last year at the Brad Garrett's Comedy Club in Vegas.
Amazing.
Which was pretty cool. He's a great guy, and
is he that tall in person?
He's that tall, and he's hilarious and bust balls. You want him to make fun of you. He's that good at it, because also he has Don Rickles kind of vibe where there's no filter. When you see his shows, you go how the fuck he gets away with this stuff? It's
Also, look at him.
but yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
No one's
He's like,
gonna
here
be
you go.
fuck you.
Yeah.
Here you go, Karen. Yeah.
But he's such a great guy, such a, it's always cool, you're saying, meeting people. I met people, some that I guess, I can call them friends, and like Brad or Ken Jeong, for example, people like that. I go this is why these people are successful, because they're just really good people.
Isn't that funny when you realize that?
Hard worker,
Yeah.
Talented, but they know what they're doing. They're not dumb. But they're just good people. And then you
That's
go
why they work.
And that's why I go and these are the people. Exactly what I said. It's this is my kind of role models, because it's they had successful careers throughout all their lives. It's just because they're good. They're nice. They're not assholes.
Yeah.
They're just very comfortable with who they are, and you could tell they're genuinely nice, and they genuinely want to help you.
It's a lot harder to be an asshole than to be nice.
Can you guys slow down? I'm taking notes. Hold
Yeah.
on. Just a
Megan,
little
I don't know if you
slower.
can not
Can
be
you
an
go?
asshole.
Can you go back to that part where
be
you said
nice.
be
Nice.
nice?
Yes, be good with people. Don't drive Hollywood Boulevard.
Nice with the
Yeah.
CE at the end. Okay.
Yes,
All right, well.
nicer.
Yeah.
Be nicer for you.
Ooh, the is a little much for me to take. I can't.
It's a little scary.
Oh God! Just starting with the nice.
All right, a few Venezuelan questions for you.
Yeah.
And I think these are kind of changing the trajectory of our lives.
Okay.
He's like, this nigga's full of shit. All right. Anyway, okay. So here we go. Arepas or cachapas?
Arepas.
Arepas. All right.
Yes.
Tequeños or empanadas?
Tequeños.
So I don't get to answer any of these.
No. It's Venezuelan questions.
Yes.
Damn it.
You already had an empanada, so
Yeah,
we
she
know
already
your
ate.
answer.
Yeah, we know you like
We know your
empanadas.
answer.
Empanadas. Go again.
Pabellón criollo or hallacas?
I failed.
Hallacas.
Hallacas. Okay. I didn't know we were gonna go there.
Yeah,
I didn't know we were gonna go there.
Yeah,
I joined in on the hardest words I've ever heard in my life. By
hold
the
on.
way,
Oscarcito or Chino Miranda?
I can say that.
Oh man, that's quick.
Oh fuck! Oh, I love that.
Can you translate for people at home? What's going on?
No, they're both cool, but I don't have a choice between
what
them.
are they?
They're two Venezuelan singers.
Singers.
Yeah.
Thank you. No,
This
sorry.
is a Venezuelan this or
You
that,
have at least 2 white people that watch this.
and one of them is in the room.
And yeah, the other one wants to know what the fuck you're talking
All
about.
right. Edgar Ramirez or Edgar Vivar?
Edgar Ramirez.
Edgar Ramirez. All right, cool. All right. Oscar de Leon, Franco de Vita.
Oof, that's a tough one.
Legendary musicians.
Yeah, they're both.
from
Thank you.
Venezuela.
Fuck, they're both great. I'm gonna go with Oscar de Leon. He's amazing.
He's
He's still
come on.
doing it.
He's killing
He's
it.
80 something and still doing it.
She's an honorary Venezuelan. Maria Conchita Alonso or Gabby Espino?
I'll do it with Gabby Speed.
actresses.
Yeah.
So for Megan.
Yes.
Thank you. I feel better now.
Maria-
Well, do you remember The Running Man with Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
Yes.
Maria
That
Conchita
was- Maria
Alonso's
Conchita was
like
in
the
there,
Okay.
yeah, she's
was
the
there,
main
yeah.
lady
See, context
in it.
is everything
Yeah.
sometimes.
And I love her even more because she was born in Cuba.
Yeah,
and
but
she
she-
like
but
grew up
she
in
grew up in
Venezuela.
Venezuela, yeah.
La Vida Bohème, Los Amigos Invisibles.
Ooh, I'm gonna say Los Amigos Invisibles. I became huge fans of them.
The
like,
Possible Men.
The
No.
Invisible Friends.
Oh,
Invisible Friends.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Not
You
your
got
friends.
I was
something.
getting there.
Yeah, you're getting there.
I'm learning.
Yeah.
What, my friends? Hold on, go back.
The
What'd you
Invisible
say?
Friends.
You were in a car with invisible people, Megan. You were going down
Yeah.
Hollywood Boulevard. You had invisible
The only
friends
people
in the
that
car.
will hang out with me.
Café Guayoyo
Uh-huh.
or Café Marrón.
Ooh,
Coffee.
marrón.
I know,
Alright,
I
two
know. I
different
was
types
trying
of
to think.
coffee.
I was thinking of other words. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And then there's only two more.
Okay.
And these are food ones.
What
Yeah.
did you choose? What did you choose?
Like marrón, which is like a cappuccino, like a cortado.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Café Guayoyo is like strained like grandmother
espresso.
coffee.
Yeah, like very like more like
Rustic.
like an
I know.
Americano-ish.
Yes.
Yeah. Like
Café con leche with
Yeah.
That's-
milk.
That's
Yeah,
more
that's
Café
good.
Marrón, yeah. Queso de mano or queso telita.
Ooh, I love those Venezuelan
Cheese
cheeses.
and-
cheese and- cheese
and girl?
So
Okay,
good,
they're
right?
so
Cheese
fucking
and
good.
sister cheese.
Yes.
or
they-
brother cheese.
Hand cheese and
Hand
then
cheese.
like
No.
cloth.
Telita is little cloth, yeah.
Yeah.
Cloth cheese.
And then last one, this is a fucking tough one because I was struggling with this
Yeah.
one. Tostones or yuca frita?
I have-
Tostones.
Fuck yeah. Tostones are the shit.
Yeah.
Those are twice fried green plantains.
Yeah.
Fried,
I knew that
smashed,
one.
In
fried
Colombia,
again.
they call them patacones.
Patacones, yeah.
Yeah, which is
They're
like it's
fucking-
like fried. Yeah, it's like it's the
green
green
plantains.
plantain that is not like mature,
Not ripe.
Yeah. And then they cook. It's
Yeah,
great.
so not sweet.
So it's not sweet. It's like salty, and they put like
Yeah, they look like a
Oh.
little disc.
Yeah.
Basically, like a little fried banana disc that's salty. You put a little lime on it, a little mojo criollo. It's fucking crack.
Yeah.
So, guys, you can, this episode will be out really shortly, so you can check out Francisco in LA in Spanish, September 11th.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where's
check it
that
out.
show gonna be?
That's gonna be at the Comedy Store. And there's
the motherfucking Comedy
11
Store.
tickets
Legend.
left. Yeah.
That is
So come
amazing.
through.
So, Comedy Store, September 19th in Orlando, October 4th, we all have hipsters in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And then, tío, vas a Madrid in
Pues, hombre,
October.
voy a Madrid,
He's
eh.
going to Madrid, so you can check him out in Madrid, Spain. Please head over to franciscoramos.com.
Y
Check him
Ramos,
out.
Francisco Y Ramos.
Oh, Y Ramos, my bad.
'cause, no worry.
The fucking E.
There's a Francisco Ramos who's like an architecture in Spain. Like
Did you have to do that shit for SAG? Where you had to
Yeah.
there's like 17 Francisco
Yeah,
Ramos.
yeah,
You had to be
yes.
the E Ramos for
Yes.
SAG.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, I sorry, SAG, Screen Actors Guild, guys.
Yes.
When you
I
register.
added an E to my Instagram name for the same reason.
Yeah.
There's too many the mess.
Of course.
Not just
you have
the
to,
mess.
You have to add
The
it.
mess.
Yeah, she's Megan the Mess, as
Megan
opposed
the
to
Mess.
the stallion
the
of
stallion, I was
driverless
gonna
Ubers.
say.
Yeah, no,
she is
she's
the
hotter.
mess of driverless Ubers. And check them out at F Ramos Comedy on Instagram.
That's right.
Well, we like to end the show the same way, and it's the only thing we don't get back in life is time. And sincerely, we want to thank you for spending a little bit of time with us
thank
here on
you.
Kill the Bottle Podcast. The
appreciate
audience, thank you guys for spending a little bit of time with us. Please follow, subscribe to
Tiempo.
Francisco. Gracias por tu tiempo.
Did I get it?
Yes.
You said
And,
tampon.
God damn it.
happy anniversary. I want to tell you that you and your
Thank
wife,
you.
Brooke, do such a great job. I can't tell you how many times even our camera guy here sent me one of the Duolingo videos, and I'm like, I've seen this.
Have they hired
I know
you
these two
yet?
people.
I told my man I
They
asked,
need to hire you guys.
I want them to hire me to do commercials. I want them to do
Yeah,
commercials
you
for
should
them,
totally
right?
do it.
Absolutely.
I mean, come on. So sincerely, thank you so much for
Thank
spending
you
a
for
little bit
having
of
me. I
time
had
with
a
us.
great time. Thank you for the rum. Thank you for your Irish guy who doesn't know how to kiss.
Yeah.
You don't have to say anything.
Yeah, thank
He's
you
like,
for
"Thank
leaving
you."
the empanadas till midway through the show
I know,
where she
yeah,
ate.
I just
yeah.
needed to have
You
one.
need
Yeah.
to have one, right?
So, guys, like, subscribe, rate, review. It means the world to us. See you next week. Kill the Bottle Podcast. Thank you, Francisco.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, bro.
Bye. Thank
Thank
you.
you.